Our Bible text is Matthew 5, verse 37. But let your yes be yes, and your no, no. For whatever is more than these is from the evil one. So this is Jesus, the new Moses, speaking. And here specifically speaking about truthful speech. Of course, Jesus is the new Moses for the Gospel of Matthew. Really from the beginning of the Gospel, Matthew is preparing the people who are reading or hearing this Gospel that Jesus, the new Moses, has appeared. Because Jesus, his life is threatened, just like the life of Moses was threatened. Jesus went to Egypt, like Moses went to Egypt. And then Moses left Egypt, just like Jesus left Egypt, like it also says earlier in the narrative. Out of Egypt I've called my son. And of course it also refers to the Exodus. So Matthew is telling the people he's writing for, this congregation, Jesus is the new Moses. And also the new Exodus is underway. And Jesus is the leader of this Exodus. And Jesus being the new Moses also means he is the one who interprets the law properly. Because the scribes and the Pharisees, they have a way how they interpret the law. And Matthew says, don't go there, because they are not true guides. If you want to know how the law must be interpreted, go to Jesus. Because Matthew was writing for a Jewish Christian audience. And for them, the law was important. And also, the issue is righteousness. And Jesus also says, if we go to Matthew 5, verse 17, do not think I've come to destroy the law or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. And then also in verse 20, important thing. For I say to you that unless your righteousness exceeds the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven. So the followers of Jesus, those who want to enter God's kingdom, must have a higher degree of righteousness than those of the scribes and the Pharisees. And it's all about how you interpret and apply the law. And for Jesus, the key issue is, the law emphasizes mercy. Like he quotes Hosea, where the prophet says, I require mercy and not sacrifice. Elsewhere, Jesus says the law is about justice, mercy, faith, etc. Not the way the scribes and the Pharisees interpret the law. And go do yourself a favor, go read chapter 23 of Matthew, where Jesus denounces the scribes and the Pharisees and the way they interpret the law. So we're here in the first great sermon of Jesus, the first great discourse, the Sermon on the Mount. There are these 5 big discourses in Matthew. Of course, it also imitates the 5 books of Moses, also giving us a clue, Jesus is the new Moses. Also, more immediately for our textual unit, that Jesus is the new Moses, is that there are these 6 antitheses that Jesus gives. That formula is as follows. You have heard that it was said, and so on. But then Jesus comes and he says, but I say to you. So 6 times here, Jesus not only challenges the existing laws, but he also challenges the interpretation and application of laws that was current at his time. So this is definitely Jesus, the new Moses, because he speaks with authority. You have heard that it was said to those of old, but I say to you. There are 6 of these antitheses. Firstly, it's about murder. That Jesus says, you mustn't just murder someone, you must also not be angry with your brother. Also on adultery, Jesus speaks about divorce. The law allowed divorce, but Jesus says you can't divorce unless it's for sexual immorality. Because at that time, the husband, had the authority just to send his wife packing, even if she just burnt his food, according to one interpretation. The other antithesis concerns oaths, our present Bible text. Then also retaliation. There was that principle, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But Jesus says that don't retaliate. Don't continue the spiral of violence, etc. Also, it relates to the love of enemy. Love your enemies, because it says you shall love your neighbor, and there was probably a common saying or belief at the time, you can hate or love your brother and hate your enemy. Jesus says, love your brother, also love your enemy. So Jesus challenges existing laws, but now his intention as the new Moses is to bring out what the law always pointed to. Because the law has made concessions in the past. Those days are over now. Because what's now required for participants in the kingdom of God, or the kingdom of heaven, as Matthew likes to put it, is a true sense of righteousness. What God has always intended with the law. And yet Jesus brings it out. He fleshes it out. It's not just about outward action. It's also about internal motivation. Your heart. That deeper sense of righteousness. And specifically, our Bible text deals with that fourth antithesis, that is from 5 verses 33 to 37, where Jesus speaks on oaths. And oath making, there are different degrees of seriousness. Of course, it's spoken about in the law. There are different passages that speak about it. We can go to Exodus 20. That's part of the Ten Commandments. If we go to Exodus 20 verse 7, we read there, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. There's also something similar that's said in Leviticus, and that's also a quote, and that verse in Leviticus 19 verse 12 is also quoted in our present textual unit. And in Leviticus 19 verse 12 we read, and you shall not swear by my name falsely, nor shall you profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. A similar thing is also said in Deuteronomy. If we go to chapter 23, verse 21. When you make a vow to the Lord your God, you shall not delay to pay it, for the Lord your God will surely require it of you, and it would be sin to you. So we can see her making vows, and very importantly, if you make a vow or an oath and you invoke God's or God's name, that you must keep. It's binding. It's part of the Ten Commandments. But there were also other forms of oath taking that people did back in the day. And they were a way to give you a back door to escape, because it does not refer to God's or God's name. For example, if you can refer or swear by heaven, maybe by Jerusalem, or by your head. For example, if I say this to you, I swear by Jerusalem, I'm telling you the truth. It's not binding, really. It's not as binding as saying, I swear, God is my witness. There were these different levels of seriousness. Also in the Mishnah, this is spoken about. The Mishnah is a code of laws that are put together by rabbis in about the year 200. And it also particularly says in there, if you make an oath by heaven and earth, lo, these are exempt. So in other words, the rabbi is saying you will not be bound by an oath if you make that kind of oath, because you don't invoke God's name or God himself. Now Jesus comes and he says, that's all nonsense. Because if you invoke heaven, that's where God is. Jerusalem, that's God's holy city. By your head, God's the master of your head. Even you balding, losing all your hair. So let's go read our present textual unit. So we find that antithesis where Jesus begins, again you have heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not swear falsely, but you shall perform your oaths to the Lord. That's where Jesus is quoting from Leviticus 19 verses 12. But now comes the antithesis. But I say to you, this is Jesus, the new Moses speaking, do not swear at all, neither by heaven, right? If you want to use it as a back door. Why? For it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, nor by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. The king there in question is God. So everywhere, everything you want to swear by to give you an escape, Jesus says, sorry, you can't do that because everything belongs to God. Also, the next example, nor shall you swear by your head, because you cannot make one hair white or black. Even God, the hair on your head, is under God's control. Now we come to our Bible text. But let your yes be yes, and your no, no. For whatever is more than these is from the evil one. So Jesus just emphasizing here, just speak truthfully. Don't swear. You don't have to swear. Say yes or no. So just truthful speech. That is the level of righteousness that will allow you entrance to God's kingdom. Not those laws and things that the scribes and Pharisees allow, where you can escape truthful speech or etc. It's about internal motivation. Righteousness is just as important as what happens on the outside, what you do, what's visible. And that's what these 6 antitheses of Jesus are all about. Yeah, specifically, truthful speech. It doesn't have to need anything else to embellish it or to try and prove it or to prove a point. Truthful righteousness within produces truthful speech without.